Welcome to Rah C Yoga. So we're going to get a nice comfortable position. You have the option to either sit cross-legged if that's comfortable to you, or you can sit on your knees, maybe kind of curl your toes. It actually has benefits of kind of flexing your toes here, so that also feels good. You can have your palms on your knees, have your palms up for receiving, or palms down for grounding you, whatever feels good to you. But the most important part with all yoga classes, especially with Rah C Yoga, is the breath. So we're going to connect with breathing first. So I want you to sit up nice and tall, again, whether you're on your knees or sitting cross-legged. Make sure your shoulders stack right above your hips. Maybe lean back and engage your core slightly. And relax your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe act like a string is pulling you at the top of your head to really extend your neck as high as you can go. And take deep breaths. In and out through your nose, nice and controlled. I usually recommend bringing some time into the breathing, so about 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Going at your own speed, maybe even add a second or two, maybe make it 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever feels good to you, but I want you to really connect with that breath. So again, just take some time to really take these deep breaths in and out through our nose. Nice control. On the inhale, really fill up your lungs, have it totally expand. As you exhale, really hollow out the belly, hollow out the lungs, let it all the way out. Nice. Let's keep that going. A couple more breaths in and out through your nose. Nice control. Feel free to close your eyes. Of course, I want to look at you guys. When you're ready, you want to start bringing some slight movement to that breath. So in your next inhale, once you bring both hands all the way up, let your palms touch. As you exhale, you can bring your hands all the way back down to your sides. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, fill up all the way. Exhale it out. Let's bring it all the way back down. One more time. Deep breath in. Let's fill up all the way. Let's pause at the top this time. As you exhale, start bringing your arms out in front of you. Let's interlace our fingers out in front of us. On your next inhale, let's bring our hands to the back of our necks. Now we're going to go ahead and on your next deep breath in, let's open our elbows nice and wide. Imagine your lungs slowly expand with your elbows. Fill up all the way. As you exhale, let that breath out. Let those elbows touch. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, fill up all the way. Elbows nice and wide. Exhale, slowly let it all the way out. Let those elbows touch. Last one. Deep breath in. Fill up all the way. Maybe smile with those cheekbones and trying to touch each elbow. Exhale, let it all the way out. Perfect. When you're ready, you go ahead and bring your hands back to your knees, whatever way feels comfortable to you. Let's loosen up our shoulders a little bit. We're going to roll them behind you. About 3 or 4 rolls back, and then when you're ready, pause and just roll your shoulders in front of you. Perfect. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to take a simple twist. On your next inhale, hands back up in the air. Deep breath in, fill up all the way. Exhale, let's turn to the right. Bring your right hand directly behind you, left hand on your right knee. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Stay there and take 3 breaths. Every inhale, really try to extend the length of your spine. Deep breath in, fill up all the way. Every exhale, get deeper into that twist. Perfect. Let's do that 2 more times. Stay in your twist. Hope I lose yet. Awesome. Your next inhale, let's come back up to the center. As you exhale, let's do the opposite side, turning to the left this time. Right hand to the left knee, left hand directly behind you. Take your gaze over this left shoulder and breathe here. Same as before. Every deep breath in, really extend your spine, really fill up your entire lungs. Every exhale, get deeper into that twist. Keep that going. Deep breath in. Exhale it all the way out. Perfect. Next inhale, let's bring those arms back up, nice and high, up into the sky. As you exhale, let's cactus our arms, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Nice. Get that nice stretch in your back, nice stretch in your chest. Let's do another deep breath in. Bring your arms back up. Fill up all the way. Lift your gaze up to your thumbs. Exhale. Let's cactus your arms again. Perfect. Bring your gaze forward. Let's do that 1 more time. Deep breath in. Look up. Exhale. Cactus those arms. Look forward. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to go to all 4s. So let's go ahead and spread our fingers nice and wide and bring them down to the mat. We're going to roll into a tabletop pose, keeping our shoulders right above our hands, our hips right above our knees. It's our first time in tabletop. Let's go ahead and loosen it up a little bit. Come to little circles. Either clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever feels good to you. Whatever direction you're going in, go ahead and pause in the center. And then go ahead and move in the opposite direction. Nice. Keep your fingers nice and wide. Imagine yourself just stretching out, check your wrists, your hips, just getting a little mobility. Back while we're here, let's go ahead and come to the center. Just do a little serpentine, whatever funny movement feels good to you, just to get loose and comfortable onto the mat. Very good. Awesome. When you're ready, let's come back to a tabletop pose. So your back is flat. Again, your shoulders are right above your hands, hips are right above your knees. When you're ready, put your weight to that left hand. In your next inhale, let's reach that right hand all the way up to the sky. Keep your gaze up to that right hand. Maybe flex those fingers and stay here for 3 breaths. Take a deep breath in, fill up the entire lung. As you exhale, let it all the way out. Keep that going. Coming up on your last breath, really fill up, really reach as high as you can, and as you exhale, slide that right arm underneath the left, land that right shoulder down, that right ear down. After you slide that left hand out in front of you here, and just breathe here, 3 breaths. Maybe close your eyes, get really deep into the breath, whatever feels good to you. Awesome, it's good for your circulation. You got your hips up a little bit over your heart. Keep that breath going. When you're ready, you can slide that left hand right in front of your gaze. Just reach that right hand back up high to the sky again. Last deep breath in. As you exhale, bring that right hand down to the mat. Nice. Let's come to some more circles. Reset our breath, reset our movement. Again, we did the right side, go ahead and do the left side. And then when you're ready, go back to a solid tabletop pose. Put your weight to that right hand, and on your next inhale, lift that left hand all the way up to the sky. Keep your gaze up to that left hand and flex those fingers and breathe. Deep breath. I always recommend in and out through your nose, but you can breathe through your mouth. Whatever feels comfortable to you. You just might get a little dry mouth if you just constantly breathe in and out your mouth. Your last inhale, really reach that left hand super high into the sky. As you exhale, squat breath and needle, letting that left hand go underneath the right hand, laying that left shoulder down, that left ear down. Option slide that right hand out long over the top of your head. And breathe here. Deep breaths in and out through the nose, nice and slow. Awesome. You come on to that last breath, that third breath, to slide that right hand back in front of your gaze, then reach that left hand all the way back up to the sky. Reach, reach. And as you exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. Nice. We're back in our tabletop pose, and then we're going to take some cat-cows here. So in your next inhale, let your shoulder blades, your head, and your tailbone come up as your belly scoops down. And as you exhale, you're going to dome out your back. Let your tailbone, shoulders, head all point down. When you start riding that breath, start coming into your cow pose before you start inhaling. Hips and shoulders come up. Exhale, dome out your back. Your tailbone, shoulders, head all point down. 2 more times. Inhale, come to your cow pose. Exhale, come to that cat pose. Last one. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Perfect. Your next inhale, coming back to a flat back, your tabletop pose. Take your gaze out in front of you. You're going to put your weight into this right hand. And on your next inhale, bring that left hand out in front of you. Keep that gaze out in front of you. And on your next inhale, you can reach that right foot out behind you. Flex that right foot. Have the toes facing down. Just breathe here. Maybe engage that core. Use that breath, deep breath in and out through your nose, nice and comfortable. Your last inhale, really reach to that left hand, maybe to that right heel. And as you exhale, squeeze, come into a little ball, let that left elbow and that right knee touch. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Fill up all the way, challenge your balance. If you close your eyes, it's a little more challenging to your balance. If you open your eyes, it may help to focus on something in front of you to kind of help you. So your next inhale, last reach, left hand out, right foot out, and as you exhale, bring that left hand down, that right knee down. Very good. Let's go ahead and reset our breath. Come to cat-cows again. Just 3. Go at your own pace. You don't have to follow me precisely, but inhale, shoulder blades, tailbone, head comes up. Exhale, shoulder blades, tailbone, all point down. Spinal cord comes up. When you're ready, your next inhale, you're going to come back to a tabletop pose, which is your side back, and we're going to do the opposite side now. So this time, we're going to put our weight into our left hand. On your next inhale, bring your right hand out in front of Take a pause here, and on your next inhale, go ahead and shift that weight to that right knee, and then get that left foot out behind you. Flexing the left foot, toes are facing down. You're really reaching through that right hand, really reaching through the heel of that left foot. Just breathe here. Maybe engage that core. Maybe close your eyes, or maybe focus on something out in front of you. Take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, let's go ahead and bring that right elbow to that left knee, and let's hold that for 3 breaths. Nice. This should be warming you up now. Start feeling a little bit of heat. Exactly what I want you to do. On your next inhale, reach that right hand out in front, that left leg back again, and as you exhale, bring that right hand down, that left knee down. This takes 2 more cat-cows to just reset our breath here. Get back our mobility. Good for our spine. Perfect. Then when you're ready, we're going to come back to a tabletop pose, a solid back. While we're here, let's stretch out our fingers a little bit more. We're going to eventually take this pose I love called pro pose. I want to make sure your wrists are nice and warmed up. So you can have your fingertips face the outside of the mat. Just rock a little bit left and right. If that feels good to you. If it doesn't, you don't have to. Everything I say is a suggestion. You don't have to do everything I say. When you're ready, maybe have those fingertips face your knees. Again, if that feels good to you. You have the option to maybe lean a little bit forward and back to get that stretch going. When you take these deep breaths in and out through your nose, try to imagine sending the breath to the parts of your body that you're stretching out. So I'm imagining sending that breath all through this forearm here. All right, so when you're ready, you can have your fingers face back forward, maybe flip to the back side. Maybe one at a time, maybe both, whatever feels good to you. Just want to make, especially if you type a lot, just want to make sure your wrists and your fingers are all warmed up. Perfect. When you're ready, we're going to come to a child's pose. So you're going to bring your hands all the way to the top of the mat. Let's open our knees nice and wide. Bring our big toes to touch, and as you exhale, let your hips come down onto your heels as close as you can. Maybe try to roll your torso in between your thighs as much as you can. Maybe try to lay your chin down to the mat. Imagine your chest even coming down to the mat. And just breathe here. Every exhale again, sinking deeper into the pose. Alright, so we're going to make it a little bit more dynamic. So keep your left hand where it's at, and when you're ready, on your next inhale, let's bring that right hand is stacked on top of the left. And then send that breath, send 3 breaths all through the right side of your body. Perfect. When you're ready, you're going to slide that right hand all the way to the right side, opposite side. Bring that left hand stacked on top of the right. Send that breath all through the left side of your body. Deep breaths in here, in and out your nose, nice and controlled. And your obliques expand, the side of your rib cage, all that. When you're ready, you bring your left hand back to the left side of the mat. Let's go ahead and bring our hands to prayer to the back of our heads here to deepen the stretch right in if you can. Again, you can let your forehead touch the mat here, or your nose, wherever feels good to you. Remember this pose, this is a child's pose. You're going to always have the option to take this pose whenever I tell you to come to a downward facing dog. They're pretty much similar, except for this one's a little more gentle. You just really want to reconnect with your breath. I recommend you come back to downward facing dog. Come to a child's pose instead of down dog. But when you're ready, let's come back to our tabletop pose and get ready for our first down dog. So first I want you to just flex your fingers, open up each finger nice and wide, press them into the mat, really grip the mat, and we're just going to roll to the balls of our feet and let our knees hover for a second, engaging our core. Let's take about 3 breaths here. Feel this sensation, engage your core, feeling your toes kind of flex a little bit onto the mat. When you're ready, you can bring those knees back down to the mat to reset your breath. Take about 1 or 2 breaths in and out through your nose. And then when you're ready, you're going to meet me into your full downward facing dog. Rolling back to the balls of your feet, this time getting your knees hovering off the mat, and then pulling them all the way up to the sky. Letting your hips come up to the sky. If you pedal out your feet, this is our first downward facing dog. Taking your time here, reconnect that breath in and out your nose, nice and controlled, just like before. Perfect. When you're ready, you can pause in your downward dog. Make sure everything is set up correctly. The arms are framing your ears. You're actually trying to roll your triceps downward so that your shoulders are away from your ears, away from your neck. Hips are high and your heels are pressing downward towards the mat. When you're ready on your next inhale, I want you to take a slight bend in your legs and take your gaze up to the top of the mat. Exhale, let out all that air, hollow out the breath, and on your next deep breath in, take one big step or hop and meet me at the top of your mat. Bring your hands, your shins come to a half back. Get a deep breath in here. As you exhale, come to a forward fold. So really just let your torso get as close as you can to your thighs, and let your gaze come down, and then maybe in between your legs, or maybe even look up towards your belly button here. It's okay to have a soft bend in your legs, and just keep breathing. Every exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. If you want to make the stretch even more active, maybe you can grab the back of your shins or your calves to pull yourself a little bit closer. And breathe. Everyone at your own time. First, make sure your feet are hip width apart. And on your next inhale, you're going to come up to standing very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Mashing them, moving up. Count the vertebrae, name the vertebrae. When you're ready, have your hands all the way up to your sky. Again, you're looking up at your thumbs. As you exhale, we're going to cactus our arms again, squeezing our shoulder blades. Perfect. As you inhale, let's reach back up to the sky. You can stay facing forward. I'm going to face you guys so you know what I'm doing. This time, as you exhale, we're going to bring our arms out in front of us, just like before. And then on your next inhale, let's go ahead and fold our arms 90-degree angles. We're going to take this right arm and reach underneath the left. See if you can have those right fingertips. Come up to that left thumb. Or if you have like a towel here, maybe that can help if you can't grab your hand. And then you can, the main point of it is just to get your elbows up in line with your shoulders so that you can separate your shoulder blades and breathe into those shoulder blades. Send that breath in and out through your nose, nice control through your shoulder blades here. I don't know if you guys can see me through this little triangle. But yeah, you should better look at whoever is in front of you, whether it's me in the camera or whoever, through your little triangle here. Remember the breath, most important part. You're breathing into your upper back. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, let's straighten out our arms again. We're gonna stay here to breathe through the other side. So when you're ready, your next inhale, just bend again. This time taking that left arm, reach underneath the right arm. Bring those left fingertips, see if you can grab that right thumb. Or if you have a towel again, you can grab that. Remember to bring those elbows up in line with your shoulders and breathe. 3 breaths into your upper back, separating your shoulder blades wide apart. Breathing into it. Remember your feet are hip width apart. You're grounding yourself into the mat. Try to press down with all corners of your feet into the mat. For your next exhale, you can go ahead and release your arms and release them all the way down to your sides. Let's shake it all the way out. And breathe here. We call it shake out the sillies. I teach a little 2-year-old yoga. I always constantly have to tell them to shake out the sillies. I love it. When you're ready, let's get back into the flow. In your next inhale, let's bring those hands all the way back up to the sky. Look up at your thumbs. As you exhale, forward fold. Bend only at the hips. Leave the chest. Come all the way down to your gaze, to your belly button. As you inhale, come to your half back. Hands are on your shins. As you exhale, chaturanga. Follow me. Let's first come to a plank. So you bring your palms down, making sure your shoulders are right above your palms. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lean forward and come down. It's like a yogi push-up. Keeping your elbows locked into your rib cage. You can meet all the way at the bottom of the mat. Nice. We'll take some back bends while we're here. Let's first take the Sphinx pose by bringing our hands up to the top of the mat. Our elbows are pretty much in line with our chest. And on your next inhale, really just going to lift up your head and your shoulders. Maybe act like you're kind of grabbing the mat and pulling it underneath you to really get a stretch in your lower back here. Remember to relax your shoulders away from your ears and breathe here. Awesome. On your next exhale, you can bring yourself back down to the mat. I'm going to stay here for a second and reset your breath, or let's move on to our next back bend, which will be cobra pose. You're going to slide your hands to the outsides of your chest. And on your next inhale, this time you're just pressing to the mat, keeping your arms bent, keeping your pelvis, your knees, your feet, everything is staying on the mat as you just stretch out your lower back. Again, try not to keep your shoulders all into your ears, all into your neck. Try to relax your shoulders down, away from everything. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, bring yourself back down to the mat. Again, you can take your time to reset your breath, maybe switch to the opposite cheek that you first were on. And when you're ready, we're gonna take our next back bend. It's gonna be upward facing dog. The difference between upward facing dog and cobra is that now your arms will be straightened. You're gonna press into the tops of your feet to get your knees and your pelvis off the mat. Again, you get a nice stretch in your lower back. Again, you're relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Your chest shines through. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, meet me in your downward facing dog. You got the option to just float right into downward facing dog, or you can go ahead and come to your tabletop pose first, then roll to the balls of your feet and come to your downward facing dog. And like I said, you also have the option to come to your child's pose. But I think we should all stick to downward dog right now. We're still kind of warming up. We should be totally warmed up right now. When you're ready, in your next inhale, we're going to come to three-legged dog. So we're going to bring that right leg high to the sky and leave it there for 3 breaths. Deep breath in, exhale all the way out. Your final breath is coming. Try to get that right leg even higher on your inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can swing that right leg in between both your hands. Even if you can't get it all the way up there, maybe you can get it back here. You can move it up in between your hands, whatever feels good to you. Stay here for a second. Bring your weight into your left hand. Get really grounded into that left hand, and then we're going to bring our right hand all the way up to the sky. Let's breathe here. Taking your gaze up to that right hand. It's a simple twist. One more deep breath in, and as you exhale, you bring your right hand back down to the mat. Nice. Now we're going to charge up this right foot. On your next inhale, we're going to come up to a lunge pose. We call it crescent pose here. Nice. When you got your balance, take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to drop that left heel flat onto the mat. See if you have a heel-to-heel alignment. Keep both hips and shoulders facing forward. And now you're in your warrior one pose. Breathe here. Every exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. Perfect. Take one more deep breath in. And on your next exhale, turn sideways. Come into your warrior two pose. This time I want you to have a heel to arch alignment. So maybe heel to this right foot a little bit more to the center of the mat. Both arms are super dynamic. Your gaze should be over your front arm, your right arm. And breathe here. Maybe with every exhale, get a little bit deeper into the pose. You're pressing to the outside edge of that left foot. Strong in this right leg. For your next inhale, bring that right hand up to the sky and lean back into a revolved warrior. Send that breath all through this right side of your body. Perfect. We're going for about 3 breaths here. Take your time. Your last deep breath in. As you exhale, come into your side angle pose. Resting this right forearm on this right thigh, left arm over the left ear. Option to stay here. Or if you're going to go deeper into the pose, you have options here. You can bring that right arm all the way down to the mat. Keep that left arm straight up to the sky. Your gaze can be down or up, whatever feels good to you. Ooh, starting to sweat. I love it. You can even get deeper here. We're going to take about 5 breaths. This is a pose I want you to hang out in for a while. You can even take a bind if it's in your practice. So if you can bring your right arm underneath up to that right butt cheek, you can bring that left arm behind it to reach it. Only do this if this is in your practice. If not, you should probably just stick to the side angle pose. Also, if you're in a bind, make sure your left shoulder isn't falling forward. Stack that left shoulder right on top of the right. Perfect. Going at your own speed. You should be coming up on your 5th breath now. Push yourself back up into your warrior two pose. Ooh, I know this right leg is burning. So when you're ready, you can straighten out that front leg, that right leg. Maybe bring that left leg a little bit closer, because next we're coming into a triangle pose. Take another deep breath in, arms stretch out nice and wide. As you exhale, tick forward before you tick down, come into a triangle pose. This right hand can come into your right ankle, or if you can reach, you can bring you can go ahead and grab that right, big toe, and breathe here, just to anchor yourself down. Breathe. Remember that breath is the most important part. Don't hold your breath through any of these poses. Don't pant. Just take deep breaths in and out through your nose. Take one more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to twist it out, bringing this left hand down towards this right foot, this right hand all the way up to the side. Keep your gaze or you can to that right hand. Take about 3 or 4 breaths here. Again, you want your own speed. When you're ready, you bring that right hand back down, left hand up. Nice. When you're ready, pressing both legs kind of into one another, engaging your core, bring yourself back into your warrior pose. Perfect. We're gonna take a bend in that front leg. We're gonna roll to the ball of this left foot. Bring this left hand up to meet it. You're at the top of the lunge again. Your crescent pose. As you exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Maybe lower that left knee down to the mat. Turn towards the right, picking this left elbow on this right knee. Pressing your hands together, your hands are in prayer. Here, I'll turn this way so you can see me better. Your hands are in prayer here. You can go ahead and just breathe here. You have an option, get this left knee off the mat. Challenge your balance here. You have another option. Maybe you can open your arms a little bit wider to get deeper into the stretch. If not, you just stay your hands in prayer. Stay that left knee onto the mat. Keep that breath going. Perfect. When you're ready, in your next inhale, you're going to release that right elbow off the knee, and you're going to come back forward. If your knee's still down, try to get that knee off the mat. Now we're about to get it real tricky. We're about to come into our warrior three pose. So charge up this right leg, get really light in this left leg, and just float here. Breathe in here. I'm gonna come back facing this direction so that there's no confusion. It's going for about 3 or 4 breaths in each. Well, basically, once you have your balance, I want you to start playing around with the positioning of your arms and then take about 2 or 3 breaths in each pose. So maybe first with your arms nice and wide, like you're flying. Then maybe bring your arms a little bit out behind you. You're going really fast. Take your time, eventually bring your arms out in front of you. Again, about 2 or 3 breaths with each. And as your next exhale, you see I'm losing my balance. You can bring your hands down to the mat, come to a standing split pose. Reach down left leg high into the sky. Breathe in here. Perfect. When you're ready, we're going to heel toe. We're going to bring this right foot a little more to the right side. We're going to slowly start dropping this left foot out behind you. Again, just heel toe this right foot even further up, even further to the right side. Bring both of your arms on the inside of this right foot and come into a lizard pose. Get a nice stretch to this lower thigh area, groin area. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, you can drop that left knee down. We move to the top of that left foot. We're at a high lizard pose here. If you can, on your next exhale, maybe even come down to your forearms. If you have a block, like the blocks I have behind me, you can even bring your forearms to a block to kind of help you out. And breathe here. Every exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into the pose. Just take your time here. Once you really get into it. And when you're ready, just slowly start pulling yourself out of it. First, you can straighten out your arms again. This right foot is still on the outside of this right arm. You can roll to the ball of this left foot and that left knee off the mat. And then you can bring that right foot to meet the left. You're at the top of a plank here. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, we're gonna lower down, try to round it. Yogi push-up. Remember to keep your elbows into your rib cage. Stop before you touch the bottom of the mat. Lift to the top of your feet and take your back bend. Either your cobra or your upward facing dog. Your cobra, your pelvis and knees stay on the mat. Up dog, everything comes off the mat. Arms are straight. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, meet me back in downward facing dog. Woo. Reconnect your breath here. Then out your nose, nice control. Like I said, you can just reconnect your breath here in downward facing dog, or if you want to reconnect in child's pose, you have the option to do that. Just take 3 breaths. Whatever feels good to you. Whatever pose feels good to you. Whatever feels good. Perfect. When you're ready at your own time, you're going to do the opposite side. So on your next inhale, you're going to meet me into the legged dog. This time with the left leg high into the sky. Leaving it there for 3 breaths. Long, extended breaths in and out through your nose. Nice and controlled. Perfect. In your last inhale, really reach that left leg super high, and as you exhale, swing it through. And see if you can stick it right in between both hands. Even if it doesn't make it all the way, you can go ahead and play with it and get it up there. Once you're there, I want you to put your weight into this right hand and take a simple twist. Bring that left hand all the way up to the sky. Your gaze up to that left hand. Let's breathe here for 3 breaths. When you're ready, when your next exhale, you can slowly bring that left hand down to the mat. It's going to charge up this left foot. And on your next inhale, rise up to a crescent pose, your high lunge pose. Take one more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, try to straighten out that back leg and bring that right heel flat onto the mat. So now your foot is flat. It's at a bit of an angle, 40-degree angle. You're pressing to the outside edge of that right foot, but you're bringing your hips and your shoulders forward. Come into your warrior one pose. We're taking 3 breaths here. When you're ready, your next inhale, turn sideways, open wide, come to your warrior 2 pose. Heel toe that left foot a little bit more to the center so you have that heel to arch alignment. Remember, in the warrior 1, we had about heel to heel alignment. Warrior 2, try to go to your heel to arch alignment. Arms are nice and dynamic. Your gaze is over your front arm. Maybe get a little bit deeper with every exhale. When you're ready, your next inhale, bring that left hand up to the sky. Let's have a revolved warrior. Breathing all through this left side of your body. Take some time and breathe here. Give me some time to catch my breath. We'll come this direction so you can see me. Take one more deep breath in and remember to send that breath off with this left side of your body. And as you exhale, you come to your side angle pose. Options here, just like before, resting this left forearm on this left leg or bring this left arm all the way down to the mat. Or, if you want to get in that bind again, you can do that by taking this left hand, reaching underneath this left thigh, bring it up to that left butt cheek. Bring that right hand, see if you can meet it on that left butt cheek. And then take that right shoulder, make sure it's stacked right above the left shoulder. Don't let it fall forward. This is just an option. We're going about, well, we already took about 4 breaths already. The full goal was 6. So you should be coming on to your last couple of breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to charge up this left thigh and push into the mat, coming back into your warrior 2 pose. All right, so just like before, I'm sure the front leg is burning. So straighten out that front leg. Woo. Bring that right leg a little bit closer. We're going to come to our triangle pose. So take a deep breath and really stretch your arms, stretch your legs. And as you exhale, lean forward, pull you lean down, come into your triangle pose. Your gaze can be up towards that right hand or down towards your left hand, your left foot. Whatever feels comfortable for your neck. Again, you can even grab that big toe. That helps. All right, take one more deep breath in here. As you exhale, let's twist it out. Bring that right hand down to the mat, that left hand up into the sky. With your gaze up to that left hand. It's supposed to be 3 breaths. Take one more deep breath in. Get that left hand even higher. As you exhale, let's switch it back out. Nice and slow, nice and controlled, nice and gentle. When you're ready, your next inhale, pressing your legs into one another, engaging your core, getting yourself back into your warrior pose. I'm gonna face back this direction so you can see me. Wait, I'm confused. What foot? There we go, it's like that. There you go. Then we're going to go ahead and come back into our lunge. Bring that right knee down, and your hands to prayer right in front of your chest. Let's go ahead and turn to the left, looking this right elbow on the outside of this left knee. Nice. Option to stay here, or you can get that right knee off the mat, just like before. Option to keep your hands at prayer, or you can open up your arms nice and wide, get deeper into the stretch. All over. Breathe here. Remember, the first most important part is that breath. Perfect. Take your time wherever you are. When you're ready, you can go ahead and start. Bring your hands to prayer. Bring your hands forward. If your knee is off the mat, be sure to get that knee off. If your knee is on the mat, be sure to get that knee off the mat. Nice. Take one more deep breath in. You're going to charge up this left leg. And when you're ready, you're going to float into our warrior 3 pose on the left side. Maybe use your gaze to help you. Your balance, kind of focus on something in front of you. I don't know what's in front of you in front of your house, but look at something to kind of help you with your gaze. If you close your eyes, it makes it a little bit more challenging. When you're ready, Once you got your balance, play around with your balance. Play around with your arm movements. Like taking about, like I said, 2 breaths out wide. Think about 2 breaths with your arms out behind you. Maybe with those arms out in front of you. Breathing here. Nice. You're ready, start coming to a standing split. Bring your arms down to the mat, reaching that right leg even higher to the sky. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, taking a slight bend in this front leg. We're gonna bring this right leg down way behind you. Nice. Let's heel toe this front foot to the left side of the mat. It's gonna be on the outside of both of your arms. Come into a high lizard pose first. As you relax, you can start dropping that right knee down to the mat really slowly, really gentle. Maybe go to the top of this right foot. This might be it for you. Just breathe here. Or if you want to go even deeper into the pose, let's try to maybe come down to your forearms. Come into a full lizard pose here. Again, if you have a block, that might help by bringing your forearms to the block. I take my time here, maybe a little bit more breath than usual. I usually like to aim for about 3 or 4 breaths in each pose. But when I'm in poses like lizard pose, I like to extend to at least 6 breaths here. Going at your own time, in your 5th, 6th, 7th breath. Go ahead and gently start stretching out your arms again. Straighten out your arms. Roll to the ball of this right foot. That right knee off the mat. Let this left foot meet the right. You're at the top of plank here. Over here, I think it'd be a good time to take some obliques. So let's put our weight into our right hand. Let's shift everything to the right side. Stacking our left shoulder above our right shoulder. Bring your left hand all the way up to the sky. This left foot can stay in front of your right foot. Or you can stack it on top of your right foot. Or you can go ahead and let it hover. Really challenge those obliques. Breathe. Go about 3 or 4 reps. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring this left hand down. Let's come back to the center first and just do the opposite side. Shifting that weight to the left hand, stacking this right shoulder on top of the left shoulder. This right foot can stay in front of the left foot. You can stack this right foot on top of the left foot or go ahead and let it hover here. Breathe. Time, you go ahead and bring this right hand back down. You're at the top of plank again. Let's take our vinyasa. Let's first do our chaturanga. Lower it down nice and slow. Looking your elbows into your rib cage. Pause for you touch the bottom of the mat. Flip to the top of your feet. Take your back bend, your cobra or your upward facing dog. On your next inhale and as you exhale, meet me back in downward facing dog. Really reconnect that breath. In and out through your nose. Nice control. Like I said, you can always take a child's pose here if you want to. Really take your time. Your arms are framing your ears. You're actively trying to point your triceps downward towards the mat to get your shoulders away from your ears. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Heels are moving closer and closer to the mat. And breathing here. On your next inhale, I want you to start walking your hands back towards your feet. Nice. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. Bring your hands to your shin, take a deep breath on the half back. As you exhale, coming back into a forward fold. This time, let's let our arms hang out on the outside of each ear. Let's grab each elbow and sway left and right, come into a ragdoll. There's no wrong way to do a ragdoll. You can just move around whatever feels good to you. Sort of imagine myself making little infinity signs, figure eights. And breathing. Feel great in your lower back here. Really just let gravity do its thing. When you're ready, your next inhale, just like before, we're going to slowly come up to standing vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms coming up last. Reaching up nice and high into the sky. Take a deep breath in. Take your gaze up to your palms. As you exhale, we're going to just relax our arms to our side. Shake it all out and just breathe here. Make sure everything is stacked evenly. We call it the plumb line or our Samdati pose, which is our equal standing pose. It means just keep your knees right above your heels, hips, everything is stacked evenly. Breathe here. On your next inhale, put those arms back up nice and high. Deep breath in. Exhale. Bring those arms back to the side. Perfect. So that one more time. Deep breath. Bring your arms back up nice and high. Exhale. Bring your arms back down to the side. Last one. Deep breath. Inhale all the way. Look up at our thumbs. Exhale. Let's heel to our feet nice and wide. Let's come to Malasana, Yogi Squat. Very gentle. See how low you can go. If you need to, you may just sit on a block, or I know sometimes you might need to be a little bit on the balls of your feet at first. Eventually try to see if you can get your heels down towards the mat. This is a very natural pose. A lot of cultures. Dinner, restroom, this is a natural pose for us as humans, so I would love you guys to practice this pose whenever you can. And just breathe, just relax in it. Let gravity do its thing. All right, so over here, I like to stretch out a little bit more, so I'm gonna face you so you can see where I'm going. You just stay at the tail end of your mat. Get ready, bring that right hand in front of that right foot, bring that left hand all the way up to the sky. Breathe here. We get that stretch going. Perfect. Going about 3 or 4 breaths to the side. When you're ready, bring your hands back to prayer. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, bring that left hand up from that left foot. Bring that right hand all the way up to the sky. Take your gaze over that right hand. Breathe. Perfect. While we're here, I have an optional pose. This is a little bit of a level 2 pose, so be careful with it. Know your bodies. Like I said, we're strengthening our wrists earlier so that we can kind of put our weight onto our wrists. So we're coming to something called a crow pose. Once you bring your hands out in front of you, about a half a foot, about a couple inches right in front of you, or whatever kind of feels comfortable to you. Spread your fingers nice and wide and really grip the mat. And then I want you to start bringing your knees into your arms, maybe kind of into your armpits, or kind of resting onto your triceps. And play around with balancing your feet off the mat. See if you can get your both feet off the mat. Once you get both feet off the mat, see if you can get those big toes to touch. Really engage that core. And breathe here. This is called crow pose. Take your time with it. Whenever you're ready, you can practice. If you fall onto a mat. Try to fall forward. Try to roll with it. Try to tumble with it. It's okay. Whenever you're ready, you can come back. Bring yourself back. And when you're ready, once you're done with your crow pose practice, I recommend bringing your hands out behind you and come into a seated pose. We're going to do some seated exercises. I'm sure you're happy about that. When you're ready, I want you to take the sole of this right foot, put it into your inner left thigh. Take a deep breath and reach both hands up nice and high. Extend that back as long as you can up to the sky, and as you exhale, slowly start falling towards this left foot. Taking your time here, grabbing that ankle or grabbing that foot. Imagine your nose coming closer to that knee with every exhale. We're taking 4 breaths here. Perfect. Taking your time. When you're ready, on your next inhale, you slowly start sitting yourself back up, stacking those shoulders back up over your hips. We'll take this right foot. We're actually going to put it into your left bicep and forearms. Take forearm and take your right arm around the opposite side of that right knee. Go ahead and cradle that foot like it's a baby. I'm gonna face you a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Just giving yourself some love, cradling your foot like it's a baby. Come nice and tall as you do it. The goal is really getting yourself some movement in this hip flexor here. You don't move around your hip flexor enough, so this is great. Nice. There below, you feel like you need to. Eventually, you want to take another twist. So we're gonna go ahead and drop this left foot outside this left leg. Let's turn to the right. Bring your right hand all the way down to the mat. That left elbow into this right knee. That gaze over that right shoulder. Just breathe here. Love these twists. About 2 or 3 breaths here. When you're ready, you can come back forward I want to switch it out, bringing that right foot down towards the mat. This time, take the sole of this left foot, press into the inside of this right thigh. Take a deep breath in, reaching both arms up high into the sky. Really extend as high as you can go, and as you exhale, gently start falling towards that right foot. Again, that knee, that nose towards that right knee. Deep breaths here, in and out through your nose, nice control. Every exhale, again, you're falling closer to that leg, closer to that knee. Going for about 4 breaths here. So when you're ready, your next inhale, you go ahead and start stacking yourself. Back up, your shoulders back on top of your hips. You can go ahead and grab this left foot, put it into that right bicep, this right forearm, and this left arm on the opposite side of that. And again, give it a nice little cradle. Rock it like a baby. Sit nice and tall and breathe here. Put it all in that cheek. You're ready to take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, cross this left foot over on the outside of this right foot. We want to turn all the way to the left, looking this right elbow. This is left knee. The left hand directly behind you. Take your gaze over the left shoulder. And breathe here. You straighten out this arm if you want to. This arm bent, whatever feels good. When you're ready, go ahead, face back forward. Bring this left foot to meet the right foot. Let's scoot up a little bit more to the center of our mats. And now we're going to do a little bit of core work. Everybody loves this pose. Actually, no, people hate this pose. We're going to boat pose here, where we're just going to float up in the air. If you need to, you can grab the back of your thighs if that helps. But really engage your core. If you just let your arms hang out over your legs and just breathe here. Go for about 3 or 4 breaths. When you're ready on your last breath, let's go ahead and drop down, but not all the way, keeping our heels and our shoulders off the mat. Come to low boat. Keeping that core engaged. And your 4 breaths again. Going at your own speed. When you're ready, your next inhale, come back up the boat. Up. Almost lost it. Balance on that tailbone and breathe. Engage that core. Pose like this prepare you for handstands. We're gonna eventually do some videos of me teaching you guys some handstands. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, come back down to low boat. Oof, it's hard to talk to you guys while you're in this pose. So I'm just gonna take some time to breathe. In fact, just stay in low boat as much as you can, as long as you can. I've already came up on that 4th breath. Maybe you can send this about 5 or 6 breaths, or however you can, but when you're ready, you can go ahead and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Not long though, no breaks here. We're gonna go ahead and bend at the knees. Bring your heels about 2 inches or maybe an inch away from your sit bones. Come into our bridge pose when you're ready. So make sure your feet are hip width apart. Really ground those feet into the mat. On your next inhale, get those hips up nice and high into the air. Let's go ahead and roll onto our shoulders to get ourselves even higher. So this is a slight inversion, just like a headstand. It's a complete inversion. This gets your legs above your heart, which helps your circulation. So I always recommend some type of inversion in your practice. Maybe if you just put your legs against a wall and have them, up into the sky. Anything is just, good for your circulation. You saw my bio. I feel like yoga really helped me relax after work and stuff like that. So even now, working from home, at least with the pandemic, I just take headstands sometimes in between meetings to help me reset. So I'm always preaching to everyone. Take your headstands, go ahead, change up the circulation in your body. Hang out and breathe here as much as you can. Take one more deep breath in. I lost count, we probably did about 7, 8 breaths. When you're ready, you can go ahead and lower your hips back down to the mat. Nice, you can relax your shoulders back from underneath you and just relax them into the mat as well. Let's windshield wiper our legs left and right. Keep our core highly engaged here. Perfect. When you're ready, come back to neutral legs, back in front of you, knees and everything is back hip width apart. We're gonna flex this right foot and put it on top of this left knee. Come to a figure 4 pose. This little triangle here is called thread. The needle, bring that right arm in between the triangle, grab the outside of that left foot, and flex that left foot high into the sky. Go ahead and take circles to really flex our ankle, clockwise and counterclockwise. When you're ready, option to just bend that leg and lower and bring the back of your head and your shoulders back down to the mat. Or keep those shoulders off the mat. When you bend your leg, go ahead and reach for your shin and then bring yourself back to the mat. That just deepens the stretch a little bit. And breathe here. This is a great hip opener, especially like a beginner hip opener. We have a lot of emotions in our hips, so I always want to try to touch our hips, open a little bit of our hips in every class I teach. You're ready to release that shin, bring that left foot back down to the mat. Bring that right foot, cross it over and bring it, let it meet the left, opposite side. Let's go ahead and windshield wiper our legs again, left and right. Except this time you have the option to keep your both feet onto the mat, or to make it more engaging, let's see if we can get those feet off the mat. And again, let your legs windshield wiper up, right? Very good. If you're ready, try to even out on both sides. And then you can bring your feet back down to the mat. Your knees are being stacked right in front of you. We're going to do the opposite side by flexing this left foot, put on top of this right knee. Then we're going to curl up, take your left hand through the triangle, grabbing outside of that right thigh, come into your figure four pose. Let's stretch that right foot high into the sky. And stretch our ankles, taking it clockwise and counterclockwise. Eventually taking your time and bending that right leg, reaching for your shin, and then lowering yourself all the way back down to the mat, your hands, your shoulders, and breathe. You should feel your hip kind of open up, kind of stretch it out. Send that breath off of this hip. Again, remember I said in the beginning class, try to send that breath to where it needs to go. Take your time here. If you want to hang out here a little bit longer, breathe into your hips some more. Do that. Like I said, we hold a lot of weird emotions and tensions into our hips, so it's good to just stretch out and breathe. You may even feel emotional. That's so normal. Go ahead and bring this left foot back down next to the right. We're going to do another set of windshield wiper our legs. Again, you have your feet off the mat or your feet on the mat, keeping your core engaged. I want you to eventually let both knees fall over to the right side, stacking them right on top of one another. Take that right hand, put on top of that left thigh, kind of keep it in place, and then extend that right leg nice and long. Bring that left hand up to the sky. The gaze is up to the air first. As you exhale, follow that left hand as it falls towards the left side. Coming to a nice strong twist here. Breathing here. Every exhale, get deeper into the twist. Maybe catch your arm there. It's good. Let's take about 5 breaths on each side. Really want to get this stretch in. This is a good one. Deep breaths going. Every exhale, get deeper into the twist. Every inhale again. Filling up all the way. Imagine your lungs expanding all the way. When you're ready, go ahead and bring your knees back to the center. Nice. Then we're going to windshield wiper our legs some more. Left and right. Let that core engage, whether your feet are floating off the mat or if your feet are on the mat. Still try to keep that core engaged. Remember, if you don't want to mat off the mat, you're going to let both knees fall over to the left side again, stacking both knees on top of the left. Bring this left hand on top of this right thigh this time. Then maybe extending that left leg nice and long. You can keep it stacked if you want to, but it's a deeper stretch if you extend that bottom leg nice and long. Bring that right hand up into the sky, and as you exhale, follow that right hand all the way to the right side. Nice. Into your twist here, 5 breaths. Slowly separate yourself. Forward, bring your knees back up overhead. You go ahead and start bringing your feet down towards the mat. Nice. We're going to bring our soles to touch this time, letting our knees fall out nice and wide. Let gravity will stay like just kind of put the knees as far as they can. Just bring your right hand to your chest, your left hand to your belly. Take a couple breaths here. Relaxing our breath. Coming to the last few poses of our practice today. When you're ready, start bringing those knees back together. I actually want you to bring those knees into your chest. Go ahead and lift back your head and your upper back off the mat. And then wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a nice hug, a nice squeeze. Give yourself some love today for all the yoga you did. Maybe even roll a little bit up and down the side your back a little bit. Perfect. We're going to gently bring our hands to the outsides of our feet. Bring our feet all the way up to the sky. And pull our knees underneath our armpits a little bit. Come into our happy baby pose. And rock a little bit left and right by massaging your back. Remember, we are a happy baby, so smile while you're in this pose. No frowning. In none of these poses, you should frown. Always relax your brow, but especially in happy baby, smile. This is the final pose of my practice today, Rah C Yoga practice today. If there's any poses that's in your practice that you want to throw in the mix, I will do that now. Otherwise, meet me in our very, very last pose, which is our Shavasana pose, which is our meditative pose. So go ahead and relax yourself as comfortable as possible onto the mat. Relaxing your arms down, letting your feet fall whatever way they naturally fall comfortably. Try to keep your shoulders melted into the mat. Close your eyes and just breathe here. You don't have to worry about the longest in your breath that we can try to be pushing you to do all class. Just relax and take your mild breaths. Again, this is your time to meditate, so your mind may do sing, it may wander off. That's okay. Just kind of watch where it goes. It might be great to play some meditative music if you have some, or I like to always light a candle to get some aromatherapy. In my practice, my in-person classes, I like to put a little essential oil into everyone's palm while they're in this pose. Have them rub their hands together to create some prana, which is our life force energy, basically just some heat. And then couple nose and breathe in a couple lifts. Bring your arms back out to your sides and just relax it out. Don't want to rush you. This is a very important pose, which really take some time with it. Maybe even turn it off and take as much time as you absolutely need, or go ahead and take a nap while you're in this pose. But for the sake of the time of the video, to get out of the pose, I always recommend that you start bringing awareness back to your toes and your fingers first. Your arms and legs, activate everything, and then maybe stretch like you just woke up in the morning. And then curl into a little fetal position on one side, whichever side feels comfortable to you. Use whatever your top arm is to push yourself back into a seated position, back to where we started, into your easy pose. Again, legs crossed, or if you want to, you can hang out on your knees. And yes, thank you. This is where I bring in gratitude, where I bring in just, being thankful for you guys trusting me through my practice. Hopefully you really enjoyed it and you can kind of make this your own and have this be your own practice room. This was a full body workout. It got your juices flowing, your breath work flowing, and I'm just, gratitude and thankful. An attitude of gratitude is how I definitely like to end all my classes. So thank you again. Namaste. Hey.